guys, Assalamu alaikum and welcome to another episode of the Zindagi podcast. My guest today is Saba Gul Hasan. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
No, thank you. And Saba, you are a dietitian and you are also founder of SGH, which is a health and nutrition wellness company. A lot of your work also focuses on the connection between the mind and the body and the gut. So I really just want you to walk me through this and educate us all on this because it's such an important topic and it plays food, it plays such a huge role in everything in our entire life. That's like the core of it.
Yeah.
So talk to me first about yourself and what you do.
All right. So professionally, I'm a dietitian and I ventured into entrepreneurship way back in 2014. And from that day onwards, I was into making wellness products. I worked with a few gyms and now I'm working at Hamid Latif, right? And along the way, I did realize that my own health needed some boost as well. So I've been working on myself too. I do see a few private clients as well, but now of course I've joined a place, so I'm looking at other people as well. So yeah, that's about it.
So, but talk to me about your focus is entirely on health, well-being. Did you have a strong grounding in that as a child? What was your home life like? Was there a strong focus on food and holistic nutrition and healing and things like that? Or was it just a very conventional Pakistani household? What was it like? So tell me about that.
We were on the more healthier side because my father and my mom used to make still makes lots of food when it comes to anything that she wants to bake, any healthy stuff. But when I joined my bachelor's, that was the moment, the kind of like a turning point for us as a family, because my father knew and my mom knew, she's going to be studying food and nutrition, so might as well just jump on the bandwagon and let's experience the whole journey with her, right? So yeah, but we are still really conscious about what we bring inside, the groceries that are coming in, and sticking to healthy, fresh, raw produce, and trying to find different areas from where we can source organic or fresh, you can say, ingredients, right?
So my introduction to health, nutrition and things has come from, yes, my family. So similar to you, we were always on the healthier side of things. And now, my mum is really into it. She's studying to be, a naturopath. My dad is a psychiatrist. So he's also very into health and wellness. But I think the turning point for me was when I got ill with eczema. I've had eczema my entire life, and this is something that, we've discussed before as well. But I think that was the point when I was just being given steroids upon steroids and just seeing no improvement at all. And then it was acha, ab kya, what the hell do I do? Am I going to live with this my whole life? I think that was the turning point for me when I was really introduced to the world of holistic healing. So what was that? Did you have an event like that in your life, or was what was that turning point for you?
I did actually. I feel, since I've grown up, when I look back, and I've also been into therapy. I love therapy actually. So when I realized that since an early age, when I hit puberty, I was pretty conscious, like every other teenager, conscious about my body image. I was on the verge of anorexia. I was, I think, almost 40 kgs.
Oh my God.
I had jaundice and I went towards 40 kgs. And the only thing that came up in my mind was, am I looking good? I was very, very skinny. And unfortunately, in our Pakistani society, that's what people think about. And that's what they're concerned about, being skinny, not being fit or not feeling
And no matter
healthy.
how you feel on the inside, it was just at least by patli. It's true.
So when I was really skinny, I realized that, I don't have curves. I'm not looking good. And of course, I'm not blaming my parents or anything, but parents do have a slight, you can say, influence on the way kids grow up. So again, their comments about, oh, tum patli ho gayi ho, ya tum aur khaya karo, boti khaya karo, all of those things. I started becoming conscious. And then I started overeating. When I went to Kinnaird College to do my bachelor's in food and nutrition, I started overeating. Because of that, I was like, okay, now I'm curvy. I look nice. I look sexy, you know. So after that, I realized, oops, I'm on the verge of, you know, being slightly overweight. So I've experienced both versions of, you know, being very
spectrum.
skinny and being body shamed because of that, and then being slightly overweight and body shame because of that, you know. So that was also a tipping point for me. But more so when I realized that I had 2 cysts in my thyroid, right? And I couldn't swallow, I couldn't, you know, it was a weird kind of a feeling. When I got diagnosed with them, I just made up my mind that I'm gonna, you know, just heal myself holistically. And I did that for 2 years. I went on a proper, you know, not like a diet, but introducing different things into my diet which would heal this, and they would just dissolve magically.
So I like how you talk about that. I like how you said it wasn't a diet, it was healing holistically, right?
Yeah.
So talk to me about, what does holistic nutrition, holistic healing, or a holistic approach to your health, what does that mean?
Okay. Well, holistically, in my dictionary, it's all about connections that you have with your entire body.
Yes.
Starting from your mind, of course, the way you're feeling, your thoughts, your perceptions about yourself, the way other people perceive you, you know. So that's the mind part. But again, the body part and physiology and all of those things come afterwards, but they are connected. The way we feel internally, do we feel fit? Do we have any pains anywhere? You know, so it's like a whole connection with our bodies, kind of like the Avatar movie, right? There's this whole tree.
Yeah.
You have that connection with the entire humanity. So it's just like that, you know. So if you're disconnected and you're not mindful even about, you know, if I just take this cup and drink, I'm not looking at it. I'm just talking to you and drinking. So I don't have this connection with it, you know. I'm just so, I know this is honey water. I'm looking at Sarah. I'm drinking it, and you know, that's it. I like the taste, because mostly just people they just look at the taste. They just feel the taste.
Yeah, that's so interesting.
Yeah, they don't.
So
think
how
about
do you
it.
how do you become aware of those connections? So someone like me, who actually I'm hearing about this for the first time, but I always knew that there was a connection between, obviously everything is interlinked.
Yep.
How do I become aware of this connection? How do you become cognizant of your actions of, like, you know, eating, drinking, and then how that's connected to different things? Does that make sense?
So how can you start with, you know, mindful eating? That's
Absolutely,
what you're saying?
yes.
Right. There was this interesting study that I recently read about, the raisin study. I think it's called that. If you Google it, the raisin study. So what the scientists did was they wanted to know how people can, you know, build connections while eating. How can they do that very simply? So they gave the subjects, the participants, a single raisin to eat, right? And it's hilarious. They were like, you know, this is just a raisin. I mean, just pop it in my mouth and just gulp it down. You know, who needs to chew it?
Yeah.
They were like, no, you have to first look at the raisin on the plate. Look at it, actually. Look at the color, look at the shape, look at the wrinkles. And then when you're ready, you have to pick it up and feel it. Because again, our disconnection starts with forks and knives and spoons.
Yes, that's so interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
हमारे culture में it's all about, you know, बस हाथ से खाना, roti हाथ से, चावल हाथ से. But we've lost that. Like I remember I used to get so happy when my dado used to, you know, eat with her hands, obviously with her fingers, chawal and roti. And I was like, how can she make a lukma from her fingers? हाथ से कैसे खा सकते हैं? So that you can say talent, whatever. So when you have the raisin in your mouth and your hand, you're feeling it, you're eating it, and you just have to keep on chewing. You have to look at the taste, you have to enjoy it, you have to dissect it, what different taste you're feeling, tasting. And then, of course, you have to swallow. So we're just all about gulping it down, you know, fast eating. Overeating happens because of that. So mindful eating is just the connection, sitting in a calm space, not looking at the TV, not even talking a lot on the dinner table, just connecting with the food, or maybe just commenting about the food. Oh, mom, you made such a nice dish. I love it. This is, you know, I love the ingredients in it. So it's just that.
And what difference does that make in, like, that, changing that approach to food? What difference does that make in your overall well-being?
एक तो aspect about the mental aspect. You're looking at it, you're feeling, you're having this experience, right? So somewhere in your mind, it just that folder is saved, a raisin folder, for example, right? And when physiologically you eat slow, like even in our religion, and a lot of religions and cultures,
Yes.
eating slow and mindfully is there.
Yes.
But we never ever address that. So when you eat slow, it takes almost 20 minutes for your gut to send a signal to your brain that, oh, I'm full, please stop. 20 minutes.
I see.
So if you keep on slowly eating food for, say, 10 minutes, your gut might be like, I think I'm actually full. So, just like one mug of this, or maybe like one cup of fruit or whatever you're eating, you might feel, this is just enough, because our stomach is just like, itna sa hota hai, maybe itna sa kisi ke liye. So it's all about, we're stuffing.
So we
our
don't
stomach.
give like our stomach to send that signal
Yeah.
to our brain, okay, enough. Like because we're just
Yeah.
like packing it
We're
full
packing
of food.
it.
Yeah.
And when it takes 20 minutes, imagine the amount of food we can have in 20 minutes, right?
So talk to me about gut health, mental health. You've really dealt with that connection. I think you've touched upon it now. I've found that that's been just a life changer for me, right?
Yeah.
Because everything, the example I can give is for my skin, is it's always been like treated topically, treated as the skin, just like
a
separate entity. Yeah, like, okay, your skin has this issue, let's treat your skin.
Yeah.
And that never helped me, because I was just constantly breaking out to the point where I had periods of weeping eczema, and it was just really bad. It was head to toe, and this is like last year. And it was just so bad. And then one day I was like, I've had enough, because the steroids are thinning my skin. I'm going to have no skin left by the end of this. And I was just so unwell and unfit, and it was the worst I think I've been physically. And then also, the body image issues that come with that and everything. You just want to get rid of it. Yeah. So my thing was, I started Googling how to try and do it naturally. Didn't really believe that it would help. And ekdam se I was like, I'm going to go cold turkey on everything. I'm going vegan.
Yeah.
I went vegan. I cut out, and gluten free. So I cut out gluten. I cut out dairy, cut out just all animal produce. I cut out all meat, everything, really. I cut out everything. And then in Pakistan, it's so difficult to find those alternatives.
Of course.
So initially, I lost a lot of weight as well. So you talk about them, and I really want to come to that as well, how to like carefully deal with these things rather than just like saying, oh, now I'm vegan today, and what does that mean, right? So I want to come to that, but also I want you to talk to us about like the gut, the importance of the gut. We've talked about the mind. Talk to me about the gut, and how, in my research at least, I know that just everything stems from the gut, and the amount of inflammation that is caused by the things you eat or don't eat really is just at the core of all these like illnesses that we face, especially in today's modern world. So talk to me about that a little bit, the mind, the gut.
All right. So you said the mind, the gut, and it's the most important thing in our system, right? And it actually is, because when you look at our daily routines, we get up in the morning and we just go on a rampage of eating, right? We never even think about humne kya khana hai har din. We don't even plan it. So that connection, that gut, ek to gut mind connection bhi hota hai. Then there's this gut to mouth connection, of course. I explain to my clients this particular idea that take your gut as a garden,
Okay.
or something you want to tend to, maybe like a baby or a pet, anything which is alive, right? And if you don't give it the best of what you can give it in terms of food or care or whatever, it's going to deteriorate, because it is the largest, you can say, digestive system is one of the largest systems in your body, apart from, of course, other things. And if your intestines and gut are not healthy, they will affect your mood as well. Just like you love kombucha, and
I do love kombucha.
And I've literally seen this, people who go on a kombucha, you can say kombucha journey, their mood starts to improve. I've seen my clients' uric acid levels improving just by having kombucha, you know. So it's just about cleansing.
What is
this
kombucha
area.
for the people who don't know?
All right.
Yeah.
So kombucha is a probiotic.
Yes.
Just like, you know, you go to a supplement store, probiotic. There's antibiotic, which we have, and there's this probiotic. So there's this wording, right? So pro means in favor of. So when you have kombucha, it's kind of like a fermented tea,
Yes.
right? Not kind of, it is. So, and it needs a SCOBY, which is symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast. So it's kind of like a colony of bacteria and yeast which are working together to ferment the tea which you are feeding it. So the basic ingredients are tea, water, and sugar, white sugar, right? When they ferment it, of course, you have a very nice probiotic drink which is teeming with all the good yeast and bacteria which your gut actually needs, right?
Yes.
So when you have probiotics, initially आपको यही feel होता है कि oops, my stomach is getting upset,
Yeah.
right? So this is why your gut is really important, because it also connects you with your brain, your mood, what you're feeling, and then again, if your body is not digesting your food properly, malabsorption हो जाती है, nutrients सही तरीके से absorb नहीं होते, right?
Right.
So everything is reliant.
Yeah.
Even the medicines you're having, if they're not absorbed properly, कुछ भी नहीं हो सकता,
Yeah.
right?
So talk to me about like you know all the things that you have, like a granola line, you have kombucha, and what are the other things?
Nut
Remind
butters.
me. Nut butters and things like
milk
that.
kefir.
Yes. So I feel like today, in today's like society where everything is so fast paced, everything, we would much rather take a pill. We would much rather take a pill. So I found it really hard to convince people as well. Okay, no, if you really focus on your diet and you cut out these things and then you incorporate these things, and you know, people are just like, no, I'd much rather just take like 3 pills and be done with it. So talk to me. So that's why I want to talk about Western medicine a little bit, allopathic treatments and things like that. It's not just, it's too good to be true, right? It's not just as simple as I'll take a pill and I will heal. There's always some repercussions to that and side effects. So talk to me about like the fad that is Western medicine, and why it's important for us to come back to like our traditional roots, like you said, Hath se khana, like just even things that are like desi totke, and people are like, oh, why are you doing this, you know? But actually there's so much wisdom in these things.
Of course.
So I want you to talk to us about Western medicine, and in your experience, how has that sometimes been more harmful than good to people?
I feel, of course, you've been on antibiotics as well, and you know the repercussions.
Currently on antibiotics and just dying.
Yeah, so you can very well relate. Again, everything does have a side effect. You know, everything on God's earth, whatever you have in access, does have a side effect. Western medicine, when you go back and see its history, did stem from, you know, Hippocrates and Imhotep and all of these people who were, you know, great physicians and fathers of medicine. So at that point in time, everything was stemming from plants, you know, and it still is. But I don't know why doctors just do not, maybe, I don't know, they don't want to admit the fact that, you know, every single medicine is coming from some kind of a plant derivative, right? Like mushrooms, penicillin, it's coming from there, right? So allopathy does, I won't say it's entirely harmful or 100% harmful. I would say that there are side effects to it. And if you can prevent taking them and try other alternates, that would be better. Because with natural medicine, with even having honey water or something like that, thoda sa delay aayega if you want to just get up and be like, okay, I just can't do this, I don't have time. But people don't have time, you know. They just have to go to the office. They have to take care of the kids and their home. So then they just resort to simple pills, right? But if you can do all of these preventive measures and take care of your health, that is much more important than just popping a pill, because they do have side effects. I've seen it. Is tarah bhi bahut dafa hua hai ki, for example, if there's a client who has, say, uric acid, and they're popping a pill for that, इवेंचुअली साइड इफेक्ट्स में भी वही सिम्टम्स आ रहे होते हैं जिनको प्रिवेंट करने के लिए वो मेडिसिन ले रहे हैं, and I keep on, वो जो एक paper नहीं आता with the medicine.
Yes.
I read it a lot because it's pretty interesting कि अच्छा आपने इनको pill दी है for uric acid, but it's doing the same thing and aggravating it somewhere.
Yeah.
And you've just made a heading कि oh, serious side effects. But it can happen.
Yeah.
It can happen with anybody.
That makes so much sense, actually.
Yeah.
Like, even if you think about topical steroids for eczema, I keep coming back to eczema, I'm obsessed. But, like, it's one of the biggest side effects is that it'll thin your skin, and then you could go through topical steroid withdrawal, which will be like eczema times 6 billion, right?
Wow.
Like, because you just cannot get rid of it, and you have to ride the wave, and that could take years.
You become dependent on
Yeah,
it.
because you've become so dependent on it. So really, you're right. Actually, things that in Western medicines are said to cure a certain thing, if in the long run are used too much, they can just
create side effects.
Yeah, bring the problem back tenfold.
Yeah.
So you talked about prevention, and we talked about maintenance before as well. So what are certain practices that we can also incorporate in our daily lives that are good for prevention, that make it seem like you're not waiting till you're really, really ill to now be like, because it's hard to do it then. It's hard to be like, oh, I'm so sick, and I'm just gonna go on a vegan diet. People don't himmat nahi hoti us time pe. It's easier to do it when you're well, just as prevention, maintenance. So what are those things that we can like incorporate in our daily lives to ensure that prevention, to make sure everything inside is like healthy and like ready to deal with illnesses and things?
So prevention starts with the things you're bringing at home. It starts with your groceries, the pills you're popping, the supplements you're having, and of course movement.
Yes.
In our culture, I don't know about other cultures, but in Pakistan, movement is only for the elite, right?
Define movement. What do you mean by movement?
Movement can be as simple as Tai Chi. Like Tai Chi is just like really slow movement. Mostly elder people do it. It's like slow movements, like, kind of like you're the avatar and you have like a ball with you. So, something like that. So again, it depends on your level of fitness. अगर आप नहीं इतना move कर सकते तो आप just start with yoga or Pilates. If not even that, just like simple mat stretches. Simple maybe standing stretches. And then slowly see your body transform. That's the beauty of it. Because when you realize, oh, I feel fit, my heart rate is not increasing, I am stretching more and more every day, kind of like a rubber band.
Yeah.
So then you feel happier that you can achieve more, and then you up your game. You might go from, just simple stretches to yoga, Pilates, running, maybe starting, if somebody wants to start walk, they can start a walk for like 10 minutes and then bump it up to 20, and then slowly they go for brisk walking, jogging, and then running, So movement is supposed to be there, right? And that comes under prevention, apart from your diet and whatever you're doing. And then there's also just psychological aspect, which I really want to touch upon.
Please.
if we have time.
No, we have time. We have all the time. Go.
So the psychological aspect, again, there's this physical and mental, and then the food we're eating and everything. I feel every single person on the face of this earth needs therapy somewhere, if not every single person, maybe 80% of the population. Because if we don't realize what's going on in our mind, the narrative or, the evil person which is sitting inside and saying, oh, you're this, you're that, you're not enough, So this manifests in your physical realm, if you want to say, physical body. And from there, people start to overeat, they become obese, and then they don't realize it's coming from the mind.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, isme prevention ye bhi hai. There's therapy, number one, preventive. Second is your diet, what you're bringing to your home. Agar aap biscuit, coke वगैरह नहीं लेके आएंगे, and they're not in your pantry, you're not going to have it. Right?
Yeah.
So, it's just like you have to play some kind of a mind game.
Yeah.
जिस तरह बच्चे के साथ खेलते
हैं.
Yeah,
absolutely.
ये हमारे पास नहीं है, so you're not going to have it. And it starts with the parents, of course.
Yes.
If the parents are lenient or lazy, or you can't... a lot of parents don't have time. They need to work. So they need to figure out कि अच्छा हमारे लिए सबसे बेहतर चीज़ क्या है, and for our kids. That also comes under prevention.
in your practice, we talk about prevention, and it sounds very simple when two people who have kind of figured it out a little bit are talking about it, but then also to an audience who might not have even even briefly started this journey yet, it can seem very daunting, right? Because it's like, ye kehna ki acha ye cheezein aap na lao pantry mein, ye cheez. It's like, but this is what we've known our entire lives. Like, what do you mean? So I want you to talk about how we can make this information more accessible to the masses and to people who aren't necessarily just like, who haven't been thrust into a position where like they are forced to know about these. Like I was like, if I hadn't gotten so sick, I wouldn't have known about anything. And I'd probably still be eating KFC every Friday, you know, miss it.
Cheat meals.
It's true. And so, and good point. Cheap meals. That's a huge thing.
I am against them.
But that's a huge thing, isn't it? I find that crazy, by the way. It's like, I'm actually planning on going abroad in a couple of months, inshallah. And the thing is I was looking at the costs of fresh food, produce. I was like, how is it that if I buy 3 onions or 2 tomato or एक,
एक packet में बंद हुए होते हैं with a cling film,
and it's so expensive, and it's cheaper to buy like frozen meals or whatever, just में पता नहीं क्या क्या डालना होता है. It's crazy.
Convenience.
And that's why, I mean, obesity and these things are such a problem, because it's so convenient to be unhealthy.
Yes.
Right? At the end of the day, it is the most convenient thing. It's not a difficult thing to sit there and order meal upon meal. And
exactly. Yeah.
That's true. So my next question is, how can we make this more accessible in Pakistan? And talk to me about that.
All right. So accessibility. It has many different facets to it. Like, for example, your podcast is one of the, you're imparting information, which is pretty great. TV channels don't do that. Government is not going to do that. At some particular level, they're more concerned about what the masses are doing, preventive, But for the common folk, there are two aspects. People sometimes know what they have to do, right? But they can't seem to do it.
Yes.
So over there, they need to understand, if they're in denial, they need to understand they need a help of a professional, first of all. If you can't figure something out on your own and you know that achhe mera masla hai, and I'm running around in circles and I can't do anything about it, I need a professional to help me guide me towards that, health journey. Yeah. And और फिर जाहिर सी बात है एक अच्छे health professional को ढूंढना भी बहुत मुश्किल होता है. So ये बहुत एक मुश्किल चीज़ है, right? So everybody come to me.
Actually, and I wish I had known about you a couple years ago. I mean, I remember this is a crazy story about this nutritionist that I went to. Really? Just literally, I was like crying. I was like just so under the weather, full of eczema. Went to this nutritionist, and she's apparently very good. But the thing is it just didn't work for me because it was very strict, and it was like, eat this many badam in the morning 3 seconds before a glass of water that has to be this temperature. I was just like, this is so, or maine kiya, but I was like, this is so unrealistic. You need to give people practices that fit into their lifestyle, because it's unrealistic.
Exactly.
And it's also, I refuse to believe that you need exotic practices and ingredients and this. Like we talked about the avocado thing. Like people who are like, we're vegans for the environment, but then we'll spend like money on an avocado in Pakistan. And it's like, do you know how that got here?
The cost of it.
Yeah. And the fuel and the, you said, you were like, gobi kha lo. It's
gobi
probably
kha
better.
Like literally, your own cultural, your seasonal produce is there.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of things that we can eat.
So talk to me about that, because sometimes things like these words, I mean, I use the word vegan, gluten-free a lot, but I understand that it can sound daunting. So break that down for us.
Right.
Break these different, ab to keto ka ek bahut trend hai, veganism ka, gluten-free ka, paleo, all these like different diets. Break
Yeah.
those down for us a little bit and talk to us about like the benefits of those, and also maybe how those mindsets can also maybe not be super constructive for an individual. So to break those diets down for me a little bit, because it almost seems like an easy get out clause. Oh, I'll just be vegan. But how do you, now I'm not vegan, you know, because I had to understand like, to these things work for my body, these things don't. So you can't, it's not one size fits all. So can you talk to us, can you deconstruct these
myths or
these
diet culture?
fancy diet culture words?
I think you said it yourself that you need to understand what is working for you, right? Keto might work for somebody, and keto was originally for people who had mental conditions, who had seizures.
Okay.
Right? So somewhere reducing their carbohydrate intake was helping them overcome all of these things.
Okay.
Right? So you need to understand that एक तो diet कहाँ से आई है, and why was it actually invented? A lot of, for example, peanut butter was invented for people who could not chew. Right? So they needed a paste, like a semi-liquid, semi-solid diet. So again, everything has a history. And हर चीज़ मुँह उठा के आप, बस लेके आ जाते हैं, and then you keep on, incorporating that into your daily life. So एक तो ये वाली बात है कि do try different things, but don't go too overboard. If you want to try different diets like keto, or there's a lemonade diet, or there's weird things as well. So it's all about finding a balance for yourself and seeing कि अच्छा, if this is not working for me, then I'm going to quit. But then again, just jumping into a diet head on and being like, okay, just like you said, I'm a vegan, or I'm a keto goer, or whatever they call themselves. So just figuring things out, what works for you. Try it out, and then in the end realize that if you cut out huge food groups from your diet, like बिल्कुल carbs आपने हटा दिए. Atkins diet ने, they're focusing on protein, so they know, कहीं protein ज़्यादा होती है, कभी carbohydrates ज़्यादा होता है. So it's all about tweaking the food groups. So again, if you want to tweak it, there are going to be repercussions. Carbohydrate is the main source of fuel in our body. And then comes fat. कहीं ना कहीं आप जाके muscle degeneration and muscle loss भी होना शुरू हो जाता है. Right? So we need these things. We need, if not roti, some form of carbohydrate, like a complex one. Oats, dalia, porridge. That's a good form of carbohydrate. So don't have roti or bread or whatever. If you want to have bread, people love bread. Try to go for a very dense, very whole wheat, very seedy, lots of seeds in it, lots of different grains in it. It's high fiber. It fills you up fast, and you won't be having like char toast, mayonnaise, and peanut butter laga ke kha rahe. Right?
So talk to me about and I love that you mentioned that you don't need to just cut everything out. There are always alternatives. What is the difference between dieting and depriving yourself of something? I think that's a big thing.
It is.
Right?
Good question.
Thank you.
Dieting and depriving. Wow. It somewhere, there's a very thin line between all of these things. Because usually people who are dieting are depriving themselves. If you look at keto or any other thing, they are depriving themselves of some food group or some weird regimen. They're following some weird regimen. So starvation hota hai. I see a lot of people, I hear a lot of people, my clients, my friends, family, who are like, अच्छा मैं diet पे जा रही हूँ. Like, it's not like a vacation you have to go. Diet पे जा रही हूँ, I'm going. So it's like, it's like a lifestyle. Enjoy the journey. इससे पहले कि आप अपने आप को deprive करें.
And it has to be sustainable.
The ingredients should be in your budget, something you can easily sustain. आपको जितना budget है, जो job कर रहे हैं, आपकी family का है, जो whatever financial status it is, easy to follow and easy to acquire the ingredients. And then the lifestyle you want to maintain, उसमें आप along the way you can add those things, right? But depriving yourself होता वही है, crash dieting, short-term goals, and just getting a diet from a dietitian or nutritionist and following it for 1 or 2 months, and then be like, मैं नहीं कर सकती.
Yeah.
You know, so
Because oftentimes they are those kinds of diets. Get 3 raisins before 1/2 cup of pani, you know, and then 3 hours later you can have ek roti ka nawala. You know, like,
I mean,
it's unrealistic.
raisins and almonds have those.
Yeah, of
but if you
course.
want like a handful of almonds, eat them.
Yeah.
If you want like a handful of cashews, खा लें. It's not like ये इतना खाना है, इस time पे खाना है. This actually is a very old concept of dieting. Or diet plans. I am dead against diet plans.
Really?
I've never dieted in my life. I've always tweaked my diet, of course, because you're changing, you're getting old, everybody's getting old. You need to realize you don't have a metabolism of a 20-year-old. I don't. I miss that. But I mean, I know I will eventually gain a little weight, but then I will manage it.
Yeah.
It's okay, you know.
Yeah.
So it's all about finding a balance, and please don't starve yourself.
Yeah.
Starvation is not the goal. The goal should be, okay, I want to be physically fit, I want to feel mentally clear. List down your goals and then move towards them at a very slow pace. Even with yoga, like you do yoga.
Yes.
Right?
That's where we met.
Yeah. Exactly. And I've been doing yoga on and off. I've been, you know, trying to understand this as well, कि लोग क्यों नहीं कर पाते exercise, because I also go through the same things, the same questions, the same barriers. I try to dissect them. So I realized that we all are somewhere, you know, lazy. We just don't want to move. अगर बहुत ज़रूरी होगा, we will move, but we don't want to. Okay, then how can we build that habit? I realized that once I started doing yoga or stretches, I've done a lot of different exercises, but I love yoga. After a few years, I might be like, okay, I want to go MMA, boxing, fighter, woman, whatever. So at that particular point, when you start realizing that your body is changing and you're stretching further than you could yesterday, you feel happy. You feel you've achieved something. Kal bhi I was doing, after COVID, I had COVID for 2 weeks in quarantine. COVID के बाद जब मैंने योगा किया, I realized, ठीक है, I'm a little weak. I feel weak in my body, but I could do pose that I couldn't do before. And I was so happy. I had goosebumps all over, and I was like, oh my God.
It's the best feeling, no? It's the best feeling.
And I wanted to do it, but I was like, okay, it will happen at its own pace.
Yeah.
And I will wait for it. It's like waiting for, like, you know, some being, I don't know, waiting for something amazing to happen.
It's true, but it's also, I don't think we have been taught patience enough, right? Because we want quick results. We want quick everything.
It's instant gratification,
And the next thing I want to come to is our misconceptions around food, around dieting, around health in general. Abhi bhi just hum baat kar rahe hain about yoga, so the reason people find it hard to get into yoga is because it's not like ek hafte aap karenge to aapko, you know, you'll see all the results. It's not like that. It's not cardio. It's not like you can, because it is focuses on the mind and the body and listening to your body and not being harsh on your body. So talk to me about some of the misconceptions that you have come across and with people, especially in your practice as a dietitian. And the first one that I want to personally address is weight. The weight is always the end goal.
Oh, yes.
So why is that a problem? Because it's always, because you just said hamari body, it keeps changing. You can't say anywhere I'm going to be 50 kgs. And until that happens, I'm not healthy. How can we redefine what being healthy means?
Yeah, that's a good question, and I keep struggling with that with my clients, because in our culture, even abroad, people think that being healthy means being skinny or fitting in a specific size, or just, you know, fitting in your favorite jeans when you were 20 and now you're 40 and you want to fit in those same jeans. I mean, come on. It's, you know, I feel this is very strange that, you know, people just want to run around in circles and not address the core issue.
Yes.
Right? So the first thing that I tell my clients is, don't look at the weight, look at the inches. If you have, for example, a favorite t-shirt and you feel कि अच्छा मुझे कहीं ना कहीं, you know, there's this fat, because there's fat and then there's inflammation.
Okay.
Right? And I realized this a couple of years ago when I was watching a documentary, and usme they particularly said that if your body is inflamed, if your gut is inflamed, you feel, oh, मैं तो मोटी हो गई हूँ, मुझे तो, you know, I'm like a size bigger, and I have like this flab going on, and I just hate my body, you know. So kombucha पीने से या probiotics खाने से everything flushes itself out, because it's like, you know, it's like a whole tunnel, like a very weird kind of a tunnel, and it needs to flush out. So fat is there, right? It protects you from a lot of different things. You need it. But then there's this inflammation aspect as well, right? So understanding this is very important. And weight wala, it's been, you know, our, you can say, culture, or our health professionals have been drumming this in our minds that weight sab kuch hai. BMI, for example. People are really, you know, bent on, hell bent on looking at the BMI. Acha, height to weight ratio, which I feel is pretty outdated. And the most interesting part is कि BMI, जिन लोगों ने BMI बनाया था, the study on which the BMI was based on and launched on, they were looking only at males and a specific kind of white male participant. They were not even taking into account females.
Wow.
So females have a higher fat ratio, you know, muscles have a higher muscle ratio. So the BMI again is not something to be, it's not for healthy people. For people maybe who are obese, they might need a goal in their mind, कि अच्छा अगर मैं 5'3" हूँ, and if I'm 150 kgs, I need to at least come down to a more healthier weight, right? But for healthy individuals who are not anywhere near obesity or level 2 obesity, please don't look at BMI or your weight. Just throw out the scale. I tell my clients, just throw out the scale. You don't need it. Look at the inches. When you're stretching, when you're, you know, having changing your diet, you slowly start to shrink. If you're not shrinking, that's fine as well, because if you feel कि मैं healthy feel कर रही हूँ अंदर से, and I feel more, you know, awake in my mind. I can do daily tasks. I don't have any kind of pain in my body. My, you know, bowel movements are good. I'm digesting food properly. These are the basic, you can say, just like vital signs are basic. This is also basic. So I know coming out of the weight aspect is very, very hard for people, because even in a group of women or men, they're constantly talking about, men are talking about muscles, and women are talking about, oh, मैं 50 kgs की हो गई हूँ,
losing weight,
right? So they're fixated. I know that, and it is a problem, a huge problem, but it needs to be addressed at different levels. Gyms, health professionals, fitness instructors, dietitians and nutritionists, they need to let go of BMI and weight and look at, अच्छा एक second, weight को side पे रखते हैं, वो तो eventually हो ही जाएगा. Let's look at the basic आपके जो मसले हैं. If you're not addressing inflammation, आपकी body फूलती रहेगी. And even with me, I've realized कि हाँ, कहीं ना कहीं inflammation थी. With all of us, somewhere there is inflammation.
So you're saying that inflammation and fat are two very separate things? Yes. And that's so important.
And all of us do have inflammation because of our diet. It's an inflammatory diet. So we need to first reduce inflammation and then be like, okay, inflammation to आधी चलेगी, 50% मैं रह गई हूँ. You know? So then address the other things.
And then, so what are some of the biggest misconceptions around health and food that you have come across in your practice? I remember my dad, he's like the family doctor, and I remember someone was saying, you know, I don't know what they were saying. My dad was like, aap cheeni thoi kam kar, and he was like, nay, I only have like a glass of Nestle juice. And then it's like, you know, because people, because they don't associate maybe sugar with fat. They associate carbs and proper meals with like fat, but they don't see like how. So what are some of the biggest misconceptions that you've come across?
I feel that the weight one is one of the biggest misconceptions, yes. But apart from that, the mind-body disconnect is also, you know, that's something that should be addressed. Apart from that, there are many myths. Myths about even fitness, about the way people see themselves. Kecha fitness ka matlab hai ki I'm skinny and not, you know, muscles. Women are scared of muscles. अगर थोड़ी सी भी मसल बढ़ना शुरू हो जाएंगे, oh my god, I'm turning into a man, I'm getting more muscular.
Yes.
So that's also a myth. Eventually, everybody when they're older, they need muscles. Muscle wasting degeneration होना शुरू हो जाती है, like right after, like say 65, 70, 80. So again, you need muscles. So it's okay for women to build muscles.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Muscles are cool.
Yeah,
Way cooler than fat.
Absolutely.
Right? And again, coming on the fat bandwagon, everybody thinks that fat is bad. Your brain is 100% fat. You know?
Yeah.
सब उठा के फेंक दे बाहर उसको, ना रखे अपने पास. Literally. I mean, this thing needs fat to function, right? So we need fat. Other than that, we have visceral fat, which is around our organs. We need that to protect our organs. अगर आप वो भी निकाल देंगे तो फिर क्या होगा? अंदर टकरे मारेंगे एक दूसरे के साथ, you know? That's what's going to happen. Then you have the subcutaneous fat, which is below your skin. इससे लोगों को बहुत मसला होता है, because they can see it. They can see the visceral fat or the brain fat or any other fat for that matter in your body. So when they see it and they're like, oh my god, look at this, you know, what is this? And this flab, you know? So I mean, this is where it really ticks them. I mean, it ticks me, obviously. But you need to learn that chala jayega. It's fine.
But I think these are some of the biggest ones. And I think we're a country obsessed with food and obsessed with weight.
Yeah.
So it's two very
appearance, yeah.
So it's two very opposite things. कि खाना भी है, लेकिन फिर, you know, and I think it's so interesting to me, this weight debate, because because I remember when I got sick, I lost so much weight. I was actually 40 kgs.
Wow, I can imagine.
I was so thin, and it was horrible because I felt like my worst. And then people are saying, you
look so nice.
You look so, and I was like,
you look so thin.
Shit, like, how was I looking before? And then you feel nervous to put that weight back on, even though you know that it's the right thing for you. Yeah. Even though I'm like, I've studied this, I know this. Even then I was like, how do I put it back on? Because people are going to be like,
Hi Moti, healthy
ho gayi ho. Phir itni smart thi, ab healthy ho gayi ho.
Even this thing, I feel this is also a myth. Healthy ho gayi ho. So now I just did distort and I'm like, haldi ho gayi ho. Haldi.
Yeah. So also I just want to talk about where you see this industry kind of going. Right? Because on the one side, I feel कि मतलब, yes, traditional ways of healing are making a comeback. But the other side, I think nahi, it's everyone is trying to fit into a trend. If they are making a comeback, it's only because it's trendy right now, not because people actually understand it.
Yeah.
Right? So where do you see the industry right now, like the health, and it's a business, it's an industry. Where do you see it right now, and where do you kind of see it going?
Well, 10 years back when I joined this healthcare industry, when I was completing my MPhil, and I was so excited, okay, I'm going to change the world, you know, that passion you have. I realized that, you know, there are very many aspects to healthcare and wellness. Tab itna nahi tha awareness, you know, and people just used to go to the doctor. And bahut kam gyms the, like Sukhchain or what else? Like very basic gyms.
Yes.
Right? So now, yes, there has been a boom in the past 10, 15 years. But again, it's a boom for a very specific population. Right? It's good, but it's also bad. So there's this, you know, we can't say it's black and white. It's just somewhere in the middle where it's pretty good that people are being aware about their diet and lifestyle and everything. But there's a limit to it. People often overdo it. And again, it's a trend. People want to follow trends. They want to, you know, just go to a gym not because they want to feel better, but because they want to flaunt their attire. I've seen it.
Yeah.
I have seen it.
Yeah.
And it's just sad.
Because everything that needs to be done now has to be Instagrammable. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Like, so that's a big trend, problem. It's a trend,
So it's for yourself, for, you know, our audience to realize कि अच्छा अगर मैं trend follow करना है तो फिर you just following what the industry is telling you कि अच्छा इस साल हम कीटो फॉलो करेंगे या इस साल हम एटकिंस करेंगे और इस साल हम हिट एक्सरसाइज करेंगे और इस साल हम योगा करेंगे, you know. So if you're following that, then it's not going to take you anywhere. It might take you somewhere, but you need to realize कि अच्छा आपकी health आपके हाथ में, right?
Yeah.
So I do feel happy that a lot of people are being aware. But I also tell people कि अच्छा नहीं, this is too much. Maybe you're going 2 घंटे अगर आप लगातार जिम में लगा रहे हैं, this is not how you exercise. You exercise mindfully.
Yeah.
Even if you exercise for like 5-10 minutes, like do 1 minute plank and do some squats, jumping jacks. Like अगर 5 minutes पे आप ये कर लें, eventually you will feel एक हफ्ते बाद you're going somewhere. But people need quick fixes, so इसलिए वो समझते हैं कि maybe बहुत ज़्यादा कुछ चीज़ करने से I will get it faster.
So Saba, what is that one piece of advice that you would give people who are looking to change things in their lifestyle without having to change their lifestyle completely? What are certain tips and tricks that you would give to people who are looking to start to lead a healthy life?
Lifestyle, okay. Interesting. I would say baby steps. Take baby steps in everything. If say you want to change your diet, the food that you're bringing to your place, baby steps. ये नहीं कि बस food overhaul and new budgeting and I'm going to go to Al Fatah and get, you know, loads of expensive groceries. Don't do that. Just take baby steps. Take one ingredient, try to change it. The way we did it at my parents' place was, okay, ande. ठीक है? Let's look at ande. They're not the white ones. It's maybe misconception है कि brown and white healthy होते नहीं होते, right? So just look for free range eggs. We started looking and we found one. Do your own research. That's what people are lacking, I feel. कि relying too much on professionals, वो तो ठीक है, you will need guidance, but at some point it's your life. You need to research yourself.
Yeah.
So again, baby steps, changing one ingredient at a time.
Okay.
Changing your oil, changing your eggs, changing basic staples in your everyday diet, ठीक है? And then when it comes to other aspects, your movement, your environment, if your environment is toxic, then no matter what you do, उसका कोई फायदा नहीं होगा, right?
Yeah.
Again, putting away or just saying no to toxic people in your life, being very very aware and mindful कि अच्छा अभी what is ticking me, what is bothering me when it comes to my diet, things I'm eating, the things I'm doing every day, what is my happiness level. That's also what I ask my clients. अच्छा tell me, आप आ तो गए हैं for some particular medical reason, but what is your happiness level? When was the last time you felt happy? What do you do every day that makes you feel happy, right? It can be something very very small. It can be something, you know, having an apple, or I don't know, something which really
brings you
happiness.
joy. Yeah.
Like a cup of tea. In our culture is like chai. Chai is like me and my sisters call chai golden tea.
Love it.
I mean, we have like a specific concoction. We're like golden tea. Like, you know, it's our thing.
Yeah.
So these are the small things that you need to realize कि health is not only about बस खाना पीना या कपड़े पहनना and looking beautiful. It's all about what you're feeling inside and mentally as well. So it's a beautiful journey. It's something that you can, you know, it's like exploring. It's having a newborn baby in your arms and expecting कि अच्छा अब क्या होगा, अब क्या ये गुल खिलाएगा बड़े होके, you know. It's like a beautiful journey. It's like having a pet.
Yeah.
Their antics, their different behaviors. So entertain yourself as well. I mean, your body is there to, you know, bring joy to you and inspire you. So do that. I mean, enjoy your body. इससे पहले कि बूढ़ी हो जाए and you're like just die. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for sharing this with us. And I've really enjoyed talking to you today. Before we sign off, let us know where we can find you. Where can we find SGH?
All right. Products you can find at various stores like Tayyab, Isaji's, the Nature Store. It's an online store. And other than that, you can order from us directly. SGH की website भी है, Instagram भी है. You can WhatsApp us. And if you need my services, of course you would.
Plug.
You just WhatsApp me or just drop by Hamid Latif Phase 5.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Saba Gul Hasan.
Saba Gul Hasan.
Saba Gul Hasan, thank you
Yes.
for coming today.
Thank you
It's
for
been
having me.
so great talking to you.
Same here. Thank you, Sarah.